His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received at Al Qadabiya Palace the President of Lebanon, General Joseph Aoun, in the presence of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, on the occasion of the President's official visit to Bahrain. Upon the arrival of the President, official reception ceremonies were held, where the national anthems of Lebanon and Bahrain were played. The artillery fired 21 shots in salute to the country's guest.
حرس الشرف، سلام جمهورية لبنان وسلام مملكة البحرين. سلام. قف.
President On then greeted their Highnesses, Excellencies from the Bahraini side, while His Majesty the King greeted the members of the official delegation accompanying the President. His Majesty held a bilateral meeting with the Lebanese President in the presence of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the personal representative of His Majesty the King, His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Hamad Al Khalifa, His Majesty the King's representative for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs and National Security Advisor, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the First Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, Chairman of the General Authority for Sports and President of the Bahrain Olympic Committee, His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa, along with a number of senior officials from both sides. Then, an expanded session of talks was held between His Majesty the King and the Lebanese President.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. فخامة الرئيس جوزيف عون رئيس الجمهورية اللبنانية الشقيقة، سيدي حضرة صاحب الجلالة الملك حمد بن عيسى آل خليفة ملك البلاد المعظم حفظه الله ورعاه، سيدي صاحب السمو الملكي الأمير سلمان بن حمد آل خليفة ولي العهد رئيس مجلس الوزراء حفظه الله ورعاه، أصحاب السمو، أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، أيها الحضور الكريم، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. كلمة سيدي
His Majesty the King then delivered the following speech.
الملك حمد بن عيسى آل خليفة ملك البلاد المعظم حفظه الله ورعاه.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فخامة الأخ الرئيس العماد جوزيف عون رئيس الجمهورية اللبنانية الشقيقة، أصحاب السمو والمعالي والسعادة، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. نرحب بفخامتكم والوفد المرافق في بلدكم الثاني البحرين، التي تستقبلكم بكل حفاوة وترحيب، وتسعد بزيارتكم الأولى لها، وكلنا أمل وتطلع بأن تتواصل لقاءاتنا الطيبة معكم تجسيداً لعمق العلاقات الأخوية التي تجمع بلدينا، والمبنية على التقدير والاحترام المتبادل والمحبة الصادقة. ويسرنا أن تتزامن زيارتكم الكريمة مع الذكرى 53 لإقامة العلاقات الدبلوماسية بين بلدينا الشقيقين، واستئناف التمثيل الدبلوماسي لمملكة البحرين في لبنان. وبهذا المناسبة نعلن بكل اعتزاز عن قرارنا بإقامة بعثة دبلوماسية بحرينية دائمة في بيروت، متطلعين إلى أن تكون هذه المباحثات محطة جديدة لتعاون ثنائي مثمر في شتى المجالات ذات الاهتمام المشترك. وفي هذا السياق نؤكد على أهمية تفعيل اللجنة البحرينية اللبنانية المشتركة لتنفيذ مذكرات التفاهم والاتفاقات المبرمة، واستكشاف المزيد من الفرص الواعدة التي تخدم مصالح البلدين الشقيقين وتعود عليهما بالخير والنفع، وهو أمر نحرص عليه دائما على صعيد العلاقات الثنائية. ولطالما استقبلت البحرين الوافدين من أهل لبنان والمحبين لها، وحرصت على أن تكون إقامتهم فيها محل ترحيب واهتمام، تقديرا للخدمات التي قدموها ولا يزالون يقدمونها لبلادنا. كما يهمنا في المقابل ألا تستمر معاناة لبنان باستقبال من يستقل أجواء الحرية والانفتاح فيها، وبدلاً من أن يمتن لضيافتها يسيء إليها ويكلفها أغلى الأثمان، وهو ما نرفضه ونرجو عدم تكراره. فخامة الرئيس أن مملكة البحرين تحرص دائماً على الوقوف إلى جانب الجمهورية اللبنانية الشقيقة، ولا سيما في هذه الظروف الدقيقة التي تمر بها المنطقة، إذ نؤكد على دعمنا الكامل للمساعي اللبنانية الهادفة إلى تعزيز السيادة والوحدة الوطنية. كما نجدد تأييدنا التام لجهود فخامتكم والحكومة اللبنانية بما يضمن مصلحة الشعب اللبناني ويعيد للبنان مكانة الريادية في محيطها العربي والدولي. مرة أخرى نرحب بفخامتكم أخاً كريماً وعزيزاً في بلدكم الثاني، وأننا على ثقة بأن لبنان بقيادتكم الحكيمة سينهض من جديد ليعود كما عهدنا دائماً موطناً للوحدة والسلام والتعايش الإنساني، وليبقى هذا البلد الجميل منارة للمشرق العربي وبوابة للاستقرار الإقليمي المنشود. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
كلمة فخامة الرئيس
The President of Lebanon then delivered the following
رئيس
speech.
الجمهورية اللبنانية الشقيقة.
صاحب الجلالة، في لحظة كهذه ندرك بأن بعض البلدان لا تقاس على جغرافيتها، بل بمساهمات الخير والحكمة في قلوب شعوبها وحكامها. أنا اليوم رسمياً في البحرين، لكن أنا اليوم فعلياً في محيط من المحبة للبنان، وهي محبة متبادلة رسمياً وفعلياً منذ كان لبنان وكانت البحرين. تعلمون صاحب الجلالة بلا شك بأن كل مواطن بحريني في بيروت كما كل لبنان هو سفير قلبي لكم في لبنان، لكننا نتوق لعودة سفارتكم كاملة، وتفضلت حضرتك هلا أعلنت لتزين رايتكم عاصمتنا. وتعلمون طبعا بأننا نتبادل دوما أغلى ما عنا، وهو إنساننا وثرواتنا البشرية، ومع ذلك تطمع من إخوتكم باستئناف التبادل التجاري الكامل بيننا، كما تعاوننا في شتى المجالات لما فيه خير شعبينا ومصالح بلدينا. كل الشكر لكم صاحب الجلالة ولكل المسؤولين في البحرين ولشعب البحرين الشقيق على الدعوة وعلى حفاوة وأخوة الاستقبال والضيافة، خصوصاً على كل الدعم للبنان قبل الزيارة وبعدها، وشكراً لكم. شكراً.
During the discussion session, both sides reviewed the deep-rooted fraternal relations and discussed the means to enhance joint cooperation across various domains in a manner that meets the aspirations of both countries and serves their mutual interests. They affirmed their ongoing commitment to strengthening Bahraini-Lebanese relations and looked forward to further advancing these ties for the benefit and prosperity of both nations and their people. His Majesty highlighted the depth of the historical relations that unite Bahrain and Lebanon, noting the remarkable development and steady growth of these ties across all levels. The two leaders also discussed regional and international developments of mutual interest and exchanged views on related matters, including the latest developments in Lebanon and the efforts being made in that regard. For his part, the Lebanese president expressed deep appreciation for the honourable and principled stances of Bahrain under the leadership of His Majesty the King towards Lebanon and its people, and his commitment to Lebanon's unity, security and stability. He affirmed his country's keenness to strengthen the cordial relations and cooperation with the Kingdom for the benefit of both peoples. His Majesty the King hosted a luncheon in honour of the Lebanese President and accompanying delegation. The mission of honour accompanying the President was led by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdulatif bin Rashid Al Zayani. A final joint statement was issued on the occasion of the official visit of the President of Lebanon, General Joseph Aoun, to the Kingdom of Bahrain.
In light of the long-standing close and brotherly ties between Bahrain and Lebanon, and given the two countries' shared determination to further enhance bilateral cooperation at all levels, the President of Lebanon, General Joseph Aoun, made an official visit to Bahrain on the 22nd and 23rd of July 2025. His Majesty the King and President Aoun held a session of official talks, during which they reviewed the progress of the ties between the two countries, as well as ways to develop and strengthen these relations across various domains to advance their common interests and benefit their brotherly peoples. Talks included a review of bilateral economic, trade, investment and social cooperation and ways in which these could be further developed. The two sides noted that this could take place through the strengthening of the role of the private sector, expanding bilateral trade, increasing visits by economic and trade delegations, fully activating signed agreements and memoranda of understanding, as well as deepening consultation and coordination at all levels, while also expanding cooperation in culture, education, tourism and health. His Majesty the King and the President discussed the latest regional developments and their impacts on the security and stability of the Middle East. They reviewed regional and international efforts to settle conflicts, resolve crises through dialogue and diplomacy, and establish the foundations for security and stability in the region. They underscored the two countries' determination to continue cooperation and coordination to prevent any acts which undermine regional security and stability, including by combating terrorist organizations and preventing their financing. The two sides underlined the need to respect the sovereignty of states, non-interference in their internal affairs, and adherence to the principles enshrined in the Charter of the United Nations and the principles of good neighbourliness. His Majesty the King reaffirmed Bahrain's support for the sovereignty, stability and territorial integrity of Lebanon and its rejection of any external interference in Lebanon's internal affairs, noting also the importance of respecting the historical specificity, religious diversity and the values of civilized coexistence that characterize the Lebanese society. His Majesty the King also reiterated the Kingdom of Bahrain's support for the efforts of President Aoun and the Lebanese government to advance political and economic reform and to strengthen national unity in the interests of the Lebanese people. The two sides expressed their sincere appreciation for the United States' tireless efforts to enhance security and stability in Lebanon and underscored the need to continue engagement with regional and international partners to build confidence and secure the necessary support for Lebanon in overcoming current challenges and commencing reconstruction efforts. His Majesty restated Bahrain's support for Lebanon's efforts to maintain the ceasefire with Israel, to reduce escalation, as well as to ensure the withdrawal of Israel from occupied Lebanese territories, while implementing UN Security Resolution 1701 and adhering to the Ta'if Agreement. His Majesty the King also underlined the importance of limiting the possession of arms to Lebanese state forces only and extending government control over all Lebanese territory. noting the need to support the Lebanese army and security forces to fulfill their mandate to maintain Lebanon's security and stability while strengthening the role of UNIFIL. His Majesty also reaffirmed the kingdom's support for restoring Lebanon's vital and irreplaceable role in its Arab and regional environment. President Aoun expressed thanks and appreciation for His Majesty the King's support for Lebanon, welcoming the growing Lebanese Gulf relations and the support of the Gulf Cooperation Council for Lebanon's sovereignty, stability, territorial integrity and national unity. He wished the kingdom success in hosting the upcoming Gulf Summit, congratulating Bahrain on its election to non-permanent membership of the UN Security Council for the 2026-2027 term. The two sides reviewed the outcomes and initiatives of the May 2024 Bahrain Summit, which sought to develop joint Arab action and consolidate regional security and stability. They underlined the importance of the summit's call for an international conference to address the Palestinian cause, advance the establishment of an independent Palestinian state, and strengthen efforts to recognize it as a full member of the United Nations. The two sides reaffirmed their support for efforts to achieve a just and comprehensive peace in the Middle East, seeking a final solution to the Palestinian cause in a manner which preserves the rights of the Palestinian people to establish their independent state with East Jerusalem as its capital and the Arab Peace Initiative approved by the Beirut Summit in 2002. The two sides also stressed the need to establish a permanent ceasefire in Gaza, secure the release of hostages and detainees, and accelerate the unhindered delivery of humanitarian aid to the civilian population. They expressed their country's support for the Arab Plan on Early Recovery and Reconstruction in Gaza, adopted at the Cairo Summit on March 4, 2025. Both sides also reiterated their support for international efforts towards resuming negotiations between the United States and Iran on the latter's nuclear file, with the mediation of Oman ensuring the peaceful status of the Iranian nuclear program, strengthening the role of the International Atomic Energy Agency, and making the Middle East a zone free of weapons of mass destruction. The two sides also underlined their support for regional and international efforts to uphold maritime security, protect waterways in the region, and confront activities that threaten the security and stability of the region and the world, including targeting commercial ships and threatening shipping lanes, international trade, and oil facilities in GCC countries. At the conclusion of his visit, President Aoun expressed appreciation to His Majesty the King for the warm reception and hospitality he and his accompanying delegation received during his visit to the Kingdom of Bahrain. His Majesty the King extended best wishes to President Joseph Aoun for continued success in his important work and to the brotherly Lebanese people for security, stability, development and prosperity.
Bahraini-Lebanese relations are characterised by a great historical legacy based on firm positions and mutual visits between the leaders of the two countries to achieve the aspirations of His Majesty the King and the President of Lebanon. More in this report.
Based on the solid foundation of shared Arab values that have long united Bahrain and Lebanon, the relationship between the two countries has steadily developed across political, social, economic, and other fields. This progress reflects the aspiration of the leaderships of Bahrain and Lebanon to strengthen bilateral relations. Historically, these ties have been rooted in strong bonds, a shared destiny, and common Arab identity, elements both countries continue to prioritize due to their mutual benefits in supporting development, growth, and closer Arab cooperation. The mutual visits and key meetings between the leaders of both countries have helped lay a firm and lasting foundation for the relationship, one that has remained stable despite regional changes and political shifts. Despite the challenges Lebanon has faced in recent years, including political, security, and economic issues, its gradual return to stability marks the beginning of a new phase of growth. This progress also signals Lebanon's potential to regain an active and respected role in regional and international affairs alongside its Arab neighbors. The shared vision of the two countries' leaderships is based on values of peace, coexistence, and tolerance, with the aim of building strong, inclusive societies that uphold human dignity and focus on sustainable development and prosperity. Lebanon's resilience and deep-rooted history have enabled it to navigate difficult times. Today, Beirut's enduring culture and strength converge with Manama's progress and bright future, renewing the spirit of fraternity and cooperation. This is a vision endorsed by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and the President of the Republic of Lebanon, General Joseph Aoun.
His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa sent a cable of congratulations to the President of Egypt, Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, on the anniversary of the July Revolution. In the cable, His Majesty expressed congratulations and best wishes to the Egyptian President for continued good health and happiness, and to the people of Egypt for further progress and prosperity under his leadership. On this occasion, His Majesty praised the strong fraternal ties that unite the two countries and their peoples, and the progress these relations continue to witness across various domains. His Majesty the King affirmed the commitment to further strengthening and advancing these deep-rooted relations to broader levels that serve the shared interests of both nations. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa issued Decrees 40 of 2025 restructuring the Board of Directors of the General Sports Authority, the GSA, based on the proposal of the Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, SCYS, and following the approval of the Cabinet. According to the decree, the Board of Directors of the GSA shall be restructured under the chairmanship of His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa, and with the membership of His Highness Sheikh Salman bin Mohammed bin Isa Al Khalifa, Vice President, the Secretary General of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, Dr. Mohammed bin Mubarak Juma, the Assistant Secretary General of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, Nibras Mohammed Al Talib, Dr. Thomas James Rosendish. The term of membership shall be 4 years, renewable for similar terms. His Majesty the King also issued Decree 41 of 2025, appointing and transferring officials within the Ministry of Interior, following a proposal by the Minister of Interior and the approval of the Cabinet. The decree stipulates the following. Governor of the Northern Governorate, Ali Abdul Hussein Al-Sheikh Khalaf Al-Asuf, is transferred to serve as Advisor for Community Affairs at the Ministry of Interior, at the rank of Undersecretary. Governor of the Capital Governorate, Sheikh Rashid bin Abdurrahman bin Rashid Al Khalifa, is appointed as General Coordinator for the Governorates at the Ministry of Interior, succeeding Mubarak bin Ahmed Al Fadl. Deputy Governor of the Capital Governorate, Hassan Abdullah Muhammad Al Madani, is appointed as Governor of the Northern Governorate, succeeding Ali Abdul Hussein Al Sheikh Khalaf Al Usfor for a 4-year term. Sheikh Khalid bin Hamoud bin Abdullah Al Khalifa is appointed as Governor of the Capital Governorate, succeeding Sheikh Rashid bin Abdurrahman bin Rashid Al Khalifa for a 4-year term. Assistant Chief of Public Security for Community Affairs at the Ministry of Interior, Brigadier Amr Mustafa Jaffa Al Sayed, is transferred to serve as Deputy Governor of the Capital Governorate, succeeding Hassan Abdullah Muhammad Al Madani for a 4-year term. Director General of the General Directorate of Correction and Rehabilitation at the Ministry of Interior, Major General Abdusalam Yusuf Al-Arifi, is appointed Assistant Chief of Public Security for Community Affairs, succeeding Brigadier Amr Mustafa Jaffa Al-Sayed. Colonel Adnan Juma Abdullah Baha is appointed Director General of the General Directorate of Correction and Rehabilitation at the Ministry of Interior, succeeding Major General Abdusalam Yusuf Al-Arifi. His Majesty the King also issued Decree 42 of 2025, appointing Director Generals of the Sunni and Jafari Awaf, following a proposal by the Minister of Justice, Islamic Affairs and Waqf, and the approval of the Cabinet. The decree stipulates the following. Ahmed Khalil Ibrahim Karari is appointed Director General of the Sunni Waqf at the rank of Assistant Undersecretary. Nabja Jalil Ali Ahmed Al-Haki is appointed Director General of the Jafri Waqf at the rank of Assistant Undersecretary. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa issued Decree 43 of 2025, appointing an Assistant Undersecretary at the Ministry of Youth Affairs, based on proposal by the Minister of Youth Affairs and following the approval of the Cabinet. According to the decree, Director General of the Planning and Resources at the General Secretariat of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, SCYS, Nani Mohammed Yusuf Bhuti, shall be appointed as Assistant Undersecretary for Support and Initiatives at the Ministry of Youth Affairs, succeeding Yusuf Fouad Yusuf Al-Maharik. His Majesty the King issued Decree 44 of 2025, appointing a Director General at the General Secretariat of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, SCYS, based on a proposal by the Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports and following the approval of the Cabinet. According to the decree, Noura Ahmed Abeloushi, was appointed as Director of the Planning, Policies and Follow-up at the SCYS, shall be appointed as Director General of Planning and Resources at the General Secretariat of the SCYS, with the rank of Assistant Under-Secretary, succeeding Nani Mohammed Yusuf Bouti. His Majesty the King also issued Decree 45 of 2025, appointing the Chief Executive of the Supreme Council for Environment, SCE, following the nomination by the SCE Chairman and the approval of the Cabinet. The decree stipulates the following. Director of Communication and Environmental Awareness at the SCE, Amina Hamad Ali Arumehi, is appointed Chief Executive of the SCE at the rank of Under-Secretary, succeeding Dr. Mohammed bin Mubarak bin Daina. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, sent a cable of congratulations to the President of Egypt, Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, on the anniversary of the Revolution Day of Egypt. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister sent a similar cable to the Prime Minister of Egypt, Dr. Mustafa Madbouli. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, met Saudi Arabia's ambassador to Bahrain, Naif bin Banda Al Sadari, at Gudaibiya Palace. During the meeting, His Royal Highness received an invitation on behalf of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa from His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia, Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, to participate in the Future Investment Initiative 2025. The forum will be held in Riyadh in October, under the patronage of the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. His Royal Highness highlighted the long-standing Bahrain-Saudi relations, which continue to be strengthened by a deep-rooted partnership and multi-sectorial collaboration. His Royal Highness noted that this close partnership continues to grow under the guidance and support of His Majesty the King and the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. His Royal Highness emphasised the continued support of Saudi Crown Prince and Prime Minister in advancing bilateral cooperation in line with mutual aspirations. His Royal Highness affirmed Saudi Arabia's vital role led by the custodian of the two holy mosques and the support of Saudi Crown Prince and Prime Minister in strengthening international efforts aimed at promoting development and fostering a sustainable regional economy. For his part, the ambassador expressed gratitude for His Royal Highness's commitment to furthering the Bahrain-Saudi partnership and wished Bahrain continued growth and prosperity. The Minister of Finance and National Economy, Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, and Minister of Cabinet Affairs, Hamad bin Faisal Al Malki, also attended the meeting. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, met with Bahraini producer Ali Dalami in recognition of his achievement as the first Bahraini and Gulf national to win a Tony Award at the 70th Annual Tony Awards at Gudaibiya Palace. His Royal Highness highlighted the Kingdom's commitment to encouraging creativity, innovation and excellence among Bahrainis in line with Bahrain's comprehensive development, led by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. His Royal Highness expressed his pride in the successes achieved by Bahrainis across various sectors, emphasising the capabilities and relentless determination to achieve success. His Royal Highness congratulated Ali Dalami on receiving the prestigious award, commenting that it represents a significant milestone and the latest addition to the growing achievements of Bahrainis across diverse industries. His Royal Highness also wished Dalami success in his future endeavours. His Royal Highness commended Team Bahrain's capabilities and excellence across numerous fields, noting that such achievements contribute to further cementing Bahrain's position on the international stage. His Royal Highness emphasised the importance of providing the necessary support and resources to empower citizens, enabling them to meet their aspirations. For his part, Ali Dalami extended his gratitude for His Royal Highness's relentless support of Bahraini talent, stating that such encouragement serves as an incentive to strive for excellence and contribute to the Kingdom's progress. The Minister of Finance and National Economy, Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, and the Minister of Cabinet Affairs, Hamad bin Faisal Al Malki, also attended the meeting. Her Royal Highness, the wife of His Majesty the King and President of the Supreme Council for Women in the SCW, Princess Abika bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa, issued Decision 6 of 2025, establishing the Women's Committee in the media sector. This decision was based on the outcomes of the meeting organised by the SCW with media professionals to present the components of the National Plan for the Advancement of Bahraini Women 2025 to 2026. The decision also recognises the growing role of the media in highlighting the achievements of Bahrain in various fields, including women-related issues, and in highlighting the gains and progress of Bahraini women. It outlined the objectives of the committee is to examine the situation of Bahraini women in media, highlight women's role as partners in national development, strengthen cooperation and friendship with media institutions, and enhance the media's role in highlighting a positive image of women, strengthening the position of women working in media. The decision stipulated that the committee's mandate includes studying the status of women working in media from all legislative and regulatory perspectives to achieve equal opportunity and gender balance in specialised jobs and media tasks. It also includes analysing the media content of the Women's Centre in television programmes and dramas, as well as various audio, print and visual media outlets, and on social media, and proposing recommendations. It also aims to highlight the image of Bahraini women and their positive roles, highlighting the success stories in various local and international media fields. The committee is responsible for proposing coordination and cooperation tools with media institutions to develop the status of women in media. It also proposes training, educational and awareness programmes to build the capacities of female media workers and leaders in media, and proposing plans for mechanisms for dealing with various media outlets to highlight the programmes and initiatives of the national plan. The decision stipulates that membership in the committee will be for a renewable 2-year term and will include individuals with experience and expertise relevant to the committee's work and specialisation. A decision will be issued by the SCW Secretary-General to form the committee's members and organise its work. The President of Lebanon, General Joseph Aoun, departed the country following an official visit to Bahrain. During his visit, he held talks with His Majesty the King on the strong relations between the two countries, in addition to regional and international developments. Present were the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Head of the Mission of Honour, Dr. Abdel-Latif Al-Ziani, the Governor of Maharik, Salman Al-Manai, the Chargé d'Affaires of the Lebanese Embassy to Bahrain, Myrna Kohli, and officials. As part of his official visit to the Kingdom, the President of Lebanon, General Joseph Aoun, yesterday held a meeting with editors-in-chief of local newspapers. The President hailed the honourable positions of Bahrain, led by His Majesty the King, in support of preserving the security, unity and stability of Lebanon. He hailed His Majesty's prominent role in consolidating the foundations of security and stability in the region, and His Majesty's tireless efforts to enhance joint Arab action. He also noted the development of cooperation between the two countries, which reflects the depth of fraternal ties and joint coordination on various topics. The President discussed the current regional situation, especially in Lebanon, affirming that his country shares Bahrain's noble goals aimed at spreading peace and tolerance, and backs the Kingdom's efforts to support just Arab causes. He congratulated Bahrain on its election as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council, expressing confidence that Bahrain, under the leadership of His Majesty, will contribute effectively and responsibly to strengthening international peace and security, and will defend just causes in international forums. Egypt commemorates the 73rd anniversary of the July the 23rd revolution, which represented a major turning point in the country's history, establishing the foundations of the republican system. The revolution is one of the most significant milestones in modern Egyptian history, resulting in widespread political, economic and social changes. The July Revolution is viewed as a pivotal moment in the path of national independence and the transition to building a modern state, and its effects continue to reverberate throughout many institutions of Egyptian society to this day. Bahrain, under the leadership of His Majesty the King, and Egypt, under the leadership of the Egyptian President, share similar visions, goals and foreign policies. The meetings between the leaders and officials of the two countries affirm the extent of their harmony in confronting common challenges. More in this report.
The Bahraini-Egyptian relations are characterized by strength and solidity, consistency in positions, agreement and consensus on various issues that affect the security and sovereignty of Bahrain and Egypt, which have been strengthened under the leadership of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and the President of Egypt Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Based on the pivotal role of the two brotherly countries in the region, the meetings between His Majesty the King and the Egyptian President underscored the full alignment between the political leaderships of the two countries, as the meetings affirmed the shared stances on various issues that affect the security and sovereignty of the two countries, such as the Renaissance Dam and the fight against terrorism, as well as on regional and international issues, to achieve the aspirations of both countries for peace, stability, and prosperity. Meetings at the level of ministers and senior officials also confirmed the compatibility between the two sides, where ways of enhancing cooperation and joint coordination on the political, economic, and military levels are always discussed, for the mutual benefit of the two countries and their peoples. The Bahraini-Egyptian visions and aspirations converge in many areas and positions, which have proven what the leaders of the two countries have established over many years. The two countries, as His Majesty the King has said, are the cradle of two ancient civilizations that have succeeded in presenting a distinctive model of moderation, openness, and civilization to the world.
And to speak further on this topic, we have the following statement for Egypt's ambassador to Bahrain, Rahim Abdulhamid Khalil.
The relationship between Egypt and Bahrain is a deeply rooted and fraternal one, grounded in a shared history and strengthened by close political and cultural alignment. The special bond between His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa serves as a cornerstone of this distinguished bilateral partnership. The relationship is reflected in the continued coordination between our two nations on regional and international matters, as well as in the regular exchange of high-level visits, which have propelled Egyptian-Bahraini ties to unprecedented levels in recent years, across political, economic, and societal domains.